We're here with our friend, Speaker Mike Johnson, really a great man. Mr. Speaker, I see the evolving change in the propaganda by the Democrats. All of a sudden, they're the saviors of the healthcare system, Obamacare. They created Obamacare. They're destroying our healthcare system. They drove up the premiums. They drove up the subsidies. They used the pandemic to massively expand it and increase it. And now the impact's being felt because Obamacare is a complete failure. And their answer to you is, you either vote to massively fund Obamacare, not just have a vote, you even provide us with the outcome that we want, or we're not going to open the government. My question to you is this. Do they have some kind of health care reform bill that they would like to show the whole nation other than just keep talking about centralizing government-run health care and eliminate private care for employees and so forth?
No, absolutely not. Thanks for having me on, Mark. They want to double down, triple down on this failed program. They're subsidizing it because it doesn't work. When the government subsidizes something, it means that it is failing. And you and I both know the original intent of Obamacare was to have it collapse upon itself. The architects of it always favored single payer. They want the government to be in charge of all health care. And they knew that this would be a route to that. What's happening right now was always inevitable, which is why no Republican ever voted for any provision of that. They did it to themselves. Some of them did it intentionally, and they knew it would come to this. So their solution now is keep throwing more money at a bad program, and it's failing the people. The costs have gone up 60% since Obamacare was created in 2010, and it's only going to get worse.
And you want to do something about it, and the president does, and the Republicans do, and the sooner you can get back to appropriating funds in the normal way, you will address this, correct?
That's exactly right. And I said in the press conference today, the only party that has any plan to fix health care, to make it more affordable, to increase access and increase the quality of care is the Republican Party. It's not the Democrats, because they're going to turn this over to the government. That was always the objective, and it's going to fail the people. So we have many plans. We have many ideas, many provisions. And it's not just talk, Mark. We're doing it. In the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, we put in real institutional reforms to Medicaid. Why? Because that was the lowest hanging fruit, because Medicaid is rife with fraud. We went in and weeded out. We eliminated the fraud, waste, and abuse. We got ineligible enrollees off the program, and we got able-bodied young men without dependents, for example, back to work. And what that has done is it's strengthened the program. It's saved it for the people who desperately really do need it and are entitled to it. It's young pregnant women, for example, the disabled, the elderly. And those resources were being drained because ineligible people were using it. We fixed that. We have ideas like that to tighten up and shore up healthcare and make it more affordable and accessible to people. We're the ones that can do it, not the Democrats. So don't listen to the talking points. They don't have any good ideas. They never have on this. They want the government to control all of our lives. And Exhibit A is the Mondami Express in New York City.
I just want the audience to understand what the Democrats want to do here is to force the Congress under Republican control and a Republican president to massively centralize health care with these massive subsidies. They're not looking to reform anything. And then you got a guy like Chris Coons who pretends he's some kind of moderate, and he's out there saying this is our moment to leverage. We've got to focus on changing health care. Wasn't it just 6 weeks ago they were focused on making sure that illegal aliens got health care, Mr. Speaker?
No, they still are. Remember, that is still the counter offer that's on the table. I mean, they filed this back in mid-September. They denied the Clean CR, which was simply, as we've all discussed, a simple 7-week stopgap measure. Just keep everything at status quo, which, by the way, Mark, we hate because it's Biden-level spendings and policies. That is all still in place until we get our appropriations bills finished. We ran out of time on the clock because the end of the fiscal year was September 30th. We just needed a few more weeks. And so we passed the Clean CR. Every Democrat, every single one of them, voted for CRs over and over and over and gave impassioned speeches that had to be done. They did it 13 times in the 4 years of the Biden administration. And so when we put it on the floor, they rejected it, and their counterproposal was exactly as you said. They wanted to spend. This is their condition. This is their ransom for keeping the government open to work for the people. They want to spend $1.5 trillion additional dollars in totally partisan spending demands, and that includes, you said it, they want to reinstate free health care benefits for illegal aliens to the tune of about $200 billion. They want to spend $500 million to prop up liberal news outlets. They want to spend billions of dollars in wasteful foreign country spending on all sorts of social programs. All the stuff that we cut out of the budget in the big, beautiful bill, they demanded to put it back in. They know we're not going to do that. It never was possible. And so they decided to shut the government down because they calculated one thing overall. They're more afraid of the rise of the Marxist radicals in their party than they are hardworking American people, because they believe the Marxists and the radicals will bring more pressure to bear than the people themselves. And so they decided to shut the government down to give themselves cover with the radical left so they can keep their jobs. That's what all this is about at the end of the day.
We're coming upon the 250th birthday of the United States, and it has me thinking, what will America look like 250 years from now? My friends at the Heritage Foundation want to know what you think. What policies should America prioritize? What principles should carry us into the decades ahead? As America enters a new golden age, Heritage recognizes that this is the time to take stock and to be intentional about how we shape the future of America. And they can't do it without your input. So please go to heritage.org/LEVIN and let them know what you think is important. Without patriots like you stepping up and speaking up for what you believe in, America as we know it can't survive for another 250 years. Please go to heritage.org/Levin, heritage.org/LEVIN. Take the survey on America's future. This survey takes less than 10 minutes to complete, but it is critical for making sure that the America we pass on to future generations is an America we're proud of. Go to heritage.org/Levin today. That's heritage.org/LEVIN. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation. First of all, I want to congratulate you. I've been pushing forever for people to use the right word, Marxists. Oh, they're socialists. Oh, they're progressive. No, they're Marxists. They're an Americanized Marxist movement. That's where they get these ideas from. And you're like the only one, or certainly among the very few who gets it and says it. It's very important we call people what they are, whether they want to be called it or not. Let me ask you this. Where do these people think they're going to go with this? You now have effectively the Federal Employees Union, or one of the big ones, saying, just pass the clean continuing resolution. And the clean continuing resolution, America, means current spending, current programs, just move on so we can get down to business, and then we'll focus on other things like health care. So that the union has now said, pass it, correct? American Federation of Government Employees?
Yeah, they did, and that's 800,000 federal employees. It's a big voice because they've had enough of the nonsense. So they understand the Democrats are just purely playing a political game right now, and they have said, everybody knows in their own words, they've admitted it. They said the quiet parts out loud. They're using this moment for leverage, and Chuck Schumer himself said, every day of the shutdown gets better for us. Who's the us? He's talking about himself. They're the Democrats who run Washington because they are afraid they're going to be run out of town by Marxist challengers. You know that Chuck Schumer is going to get a challenge from AOC or somebody like her in New York. Hakeem Jeffries is going to get a challenge from one of Mondami's disciples on the city council there, and they're going to do everything they can to kick these career politicians out of their seats. So they care about that far more than they care about anything else, and that is the explanation for everything that we're seeing right now. It's really infuriating.
They don't want to fund our military personnel, our TSA personnel, or FAA personnel. I mean, these really are essential employees and so forth. I mean, this is a kamikaze party. I guess they just don't care. What do you do with a party that doesn't give a damn?
Well, it's an unprecedented thing. I mean, this truly is. They're making history in all the wrong ways for all the wrong reasons. This is the first time in the history of the country that any party has chosen to shut the government down over a totally clean CR, a nonpartisan measure. They don't care. They have evaluated that they have to do this because they cannot face the radical base in their party any longer, and we're all made to suffer because of it. You have real harm, real hardship being experienced by real people across the country. And it's not just federal workers. It's not just troops and TSA agents and Border Patrol agents and, air traffic controllers and all the rest, the people that we rely upon to keep us all safe. It's also small business owners. It's the people that provide the jobs in every community across the country. Many of them work in many ways on government contracts. All that has been shut down. This is real harm for real people. And on November 1st, the SNAP benefits dry up. That means food and nutrition programs, food stamps we used to call them.
I was just going to make it clear to the audience. That's food stamps. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's food stamps, yes. 42 million people rely upon food stamps right now, and those programs are drying up because the money doesn't exist to fund it. The Democrats have done that, Mark. This is so clear. Republicans have voted 13 times between the House and the Senate to open the government, and the Democrats have voted 13 times to keep it closed. They are putting their own self-interest, their political futures, ahead of the needs of the American people, and we should never forget it.
My concern is, Mr. Speaker, maybe in the Senate, that you'll get a couple of Republicans who say that's enough. They'll start to buckle. You've heard a few in the House, a few of the whack jobs in particular. And so it doesn't take many, and then we're off to the races in some kind of massive increase in government control over health care, no?
Well, we're going to hold the line. I mean, I am heartened to tell you that the Senate Republicans, House Republicans are completely aligned on this. The White House, the president, I talk with them every day about this. There's no daylight between us. The Republican Party is more unified than it's ever been. And we're going to hold the line because we know we are doing the right thing for the American people. It has never been more clear. And at the same time, you're seeing a stronger contrast between the two parties than you've ever seen before. I mean, there's always been a difference, and you've been writing about this for years and pointing out the distinctions, but the chasm now is so wide, Mark. They're out in the open. They are Marxist, and they're running as such. You know, they used to try to hide it, but they don't anymore. And you look at the split screen. I mean, look at President Trump and the Republican Party delivering for the American people. I mean, we're solving the problems. We've cut their taxes. We're streamlining and cutting regulations to get the economy going again. We solved the border crisis. We're solving the crime crisis. We're cutting fraud, waste, and abuse out of government, and President Trump is solving wars around the globe, bringing peace through strength again. And what do you see on the split screen? The Democrats. We did everything I just described in the last 9 months. You know what they've done? Shut the government down. I mean, it's such a contrast, and everybody can see it. And there is no way for them to argue out of what they've done.
Now, you were a litigator for conservative causes, and you used to listen to conservative talk radio. Isn't that correct?
I did, and I learned a lot of what I know from listening to you, my friend.
Now, what's the main town in your district?
Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah. Northwest corner of the state. God's country.
God's country. Well, I haven't been to God's country, but then again, I haven't been to most of the country, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, Mr. Speaker, keep up the fight. You have air support from this audience, that's for sure, and we're very appreciative of what you're doing. I know it's not fun, but it's important. So God bless you, my friend.
Well, same to you, my friend. Thanks for the inspiration and the lessons over the years. It all comes to a head right now, so keep going.
Amen. You take care of yourself.